as I said earlier, root cause is important, because if we just treat the symptoms, then the actual problem will not go. Again it will appear again and again. Hence we need to look at the root cause and address not just symptom but the root cause. Also, when we have certain processes selected for the or selected services will have different processes. So, if we look at them, their problems, it may be possible that few causes can cause many problems, right. So, it is about the 80-20 rule, we call it, like 20% of the causes are resulting in 80% of the problems. So, if we do this statistics during the root cause analysis, you can have the better solutions for the process, and ultimately your process reengineering will be better. Just one of the tool, cause and effect diagram, we can draw this, and of course there are the problem could be because of people, or because methodology, because of material or data, or it could be about the processing time, machines, right. It can cause, there can be different causes, but we need to look into root cause. Of course there are other way of failure mode effect analysis is another way of looking at the root causes. So, this is the tool for root causes, finding root causes. Once we will look at those things, then later on we can talk about the value adding activities and non value adding activities. But of course, there are some control activities, approvals are necessary because control is needed in the process. So, it is important. So, we need to have the right mix of value adding activity as well as non value adding activity, and we can look at the efficiency of those things. Now, next thing is about the process complexity. How many data entry points, how many officers will work on that. So, we need to look at overall thing, can we reduce the complexity of the process. Then with this we do process analysis, and then we will move to the next one is about the re-engineering, right, and defining to be process. That means after re-engineering how this process will be, we need to look at this. So, here we will go into automation as well as re-engineering process. Also you may have different ideas about the process improvements, and in that you will select the best one, and we need to define it, and finally we need to get the approval from the stakeholders, and finally setting the target KPIs what we want to target. And we need to look at our vision and earlier objective, how we are going with them for this stage, at this stage. So, future state will be like how we are going to perform those processes, how IT solutions will be implemented, how the automation will come into picture, and of course change management for the handling people, and also their capacity building for them, so that they can work in the new environment as well as on the new processes. So, here also same way, like as is process, here also three things: people, IT systems and processes. Our focus mainly with the process reengineering is on process. So, here also all three things, how we want to build a capacity, that is taken care by human resources, change management and communication, all these things. And now we will also look at the how the IT will be used, because again there will be more resources available. For example, every state is having state data center now. So, we have more resources. So, how we can utilize them, new technology, how things. So, we need to define the in terms of to be environment, and of course, our process reengineering will provide the to be business processes, how the KPIs will be there, and is there a need for change in legal and policies and other things. Because for example, if you are using IT environment, there whether IT transaction can be treated as a legal transaction. So, these kind of things will be taken care in terms of processes. Now, process engineering principle, what are them? One thing is we had talked about redesigning in the definition of the process reengineering. So, here can we completely eliminate the non value adding activities, whether we can organize around the outcomes. For example, if the process includes different department of the government and it takes time between the delays, in that case can we reorganize in a such a way that start to end can be done in a one department. So, that can be putting outcome and around that building a process. How we can build the quality in the initial stage, because it is about the initial stage. If we do not control the quality, the defect will continue. Replacing process completely, okay, means new process, removing the processes, or means eliminating them, or outsourcing the processes. If you take example of passport, the control things are done by government and it is about the PPP model, private public private partnership. So, we can bring in private parties and outsource them, and of course, finally it is about the automating the processes. How we can, one of the thing was how we can eliminate some of things. So, is there a transport or handling which takes time, right, or is there redundant or duplication of work, or do we do inspection and verification multiple times, and of course preparation time before executing tasks, does it takes lot of time to prepare, right. So, for example, if I have to fill a form, I need to gather some certain data and things. So, there is a preparation time also. So, that trip is a short form. How these can be eliminated or how these can be automated, right, the tasks, those tasks. So, this will be the one way to look at the improvement in the process. Another way to look at the improvements are, can we integrate, right, means it can be about the different division I said or different department, can they come together around the output and we have different organizational structure, or can we automate, in a sense if it is data captured or entry, these things will be checked automatically, so that unwanted thing will not get processed further. So, it is at the beginning quality checks, or if they are repetitive tasks, can we automate them, and of course simplification, overall procedure, workflow and forms, because if forms are 2-3 pages complicated form, it is definitely preparation time will be lot and customer will have difficulty in giving the right data. So, how we can simplify those forms? The next thing is about the balancing the e-governance, because when we talk about IT enablement, there will be two things. One is something will go online and something will be at the back office, right. So, the front office will have online services, what are the online things we are going to provide, and how it is processed faster at the back office. So, we must provide more and more information, so that your online services are bigger and better, and whereas we need to have faster turnaround time for the back office, so that we can provide service faster. So, we need to divide the services into from this perspective also, what will go online, what will be self service kind of thing, and what is the control points, how we want to do the back office operations. Finally, about the performance indicator, we need to decide whether it is time indicator, like how fast we serve. We also look at the demand indicator, like how the demands will be there about the using this service. What is the productivity indicators, how fast we are able to process these increased volume, and cost indicator, as we have seen value addition will be seen as a cost reduction for the processing on department side as well as for the customer side. So, we need to have these indicators clearly in as is process and to be defined process, so that we can easily indicate what are the improvements we are bringing in with the process reengineering and IT enablement. So, finally, it is a last step about the implementing the things as a re-engineered process. So, again here our inputs will go into IT, because we want to automate some of the processes, or we need to do these checks on the things, and how we can simplify. So, we need to look into these IT systems, how that re-engineered process flow will work, and putting the place mechanism in the monitoring KPIs, because Monitoring and evaluation is a big part in the project management, especially from government point of view, because how it is progressing, and after implementation how successfully implemented, that also will be from this point of view. And change management is and legal things, all these things are taken care. So, if we look at here implementation of re-engineer process, how IT system will come into the picture, as we have seen swim lane diagram there, how the system will interact with the people, and of course monitoring and evaluation I mentioned earlier. Of course change management, it is about the stakeholders management, mainly different people involved in this process, and recognition of electronic transaction, all these legal requirements also should be taken care. So, this is about the complete process this thing. As we were talking about the drastic improvement, one of the tool which used or mentioned even in government re-engineering process is Six Sigma. This is completely based on statistics. It main focus will be eliminating the variation, data driven design as well as improvements. So, what we were talking about, the data collection or around TAT, turnaround time, all these things, we can look at the variation that, and look at the standard deviation. The variation is represented in the standard deviation. So, if our process is operate at 1 sigma level, then it is around more than 3 lakhs errors can happen in the process in the 10 lakhs operations. So, if we improve it to 2 sigma, it will drop to 45,000, and if we will go to 6 sigma level, there will be just 3. So, this is a dramatic improvement, we can say, from 3 lakhs to 3. So, if we have variation in your processes, how we can handle them, how we can improve them, Six Sigma is one of the very useful things. So, which can be utilized in our in the process re-engineering part, and of course our these steps and Six Sigma steps have a lot of similarity. Only thing is how we can generate the statistic reliable and how we can improve those things. Of course, for example, like aircraft operations, they need to be very highly critical things. So, they may operate at 10 sigma or 12 sigma, so that there will be rare chance of accident. Same way in our processes, if we improve, there will be, as a very beginning I talked about drastic improvement or dramatic improvement, this can be way to look at those improvements.